Hello, fourth grade. I hope you enjoyed designing and testing your paper airplanes last week. Now we're going to move to our FOSS investigations. I'm really excited about all the investigations we will get to complete throughout the year. Before we get started, we need to start practicing to think like scientists and think about what that really means. Did you know that almost all scientists keep a special notebook of all their scientific thinking and ideas, and even questions they have? A scientist's notebook is a detailed record of his or her engagement with the world. Just like real scientists, we are going to have our very own science notebooks. We will use the science notebook to record our focus questions, make lists of instructions, collect data from our experiments, and even draw in our notebooks. Have you used a science notebook before? Well, today we're going to look at this super cool book about scientists and their science notebooks. While we read, I want you to think about how you want your science notebook to look, because every scientist's notebook is unique. No two science notebooks are the same. Let's take a look. Notable notebooks, scientists and their writings. Notable notebooks, scientists and their writings, by Jessica Fries Gaither. Illustrated by Linda Oliver. Of all a scientist's tools, objects rare and common, the lowly science notebook is most easily forgotten. Scientists write in notebooks about every plant and crater. Notebooks help them understand what they observe in nature. What makes a notebook special? It's a place to think and dream, to write down thoughts and questions about all that you have seen. Take a look at this diagram of a fish. A diagram is a picture with the parts labeled. In this diagram, we can see the gills, the fin, the tail, the scales, and the mouth. Take a look at some of these other pages. What do you notice? Take a moment to think about it. I notice that there are drawings, just like in the diagram, a drawing of the moon, drawing of the changes to the earth from wind, water, ice. What else did you notice? I noticed that there are notes, just words, not even complete sentences, just thoughts. Help record what a scientist is thinking. I like this one over here. In science, I can question, research, hypothesize, prepare, experiment, collect data, and conclude all the steps of the scientific process. If you find a science notebook, open it and have a look. You will surely be amazed by what's inside this book. Reading such a notebook is a great way to explore. We can learn so many things from those who came before. Don't believe me? Then let's go. Let's travel through time and see exactly how important one notebook just might be. What do you think is going to happen next? I think we're going to do a little bit of time travel, maybe learn about some famous scientists from the past and take a look at their notebook. Let's visit Galileo back in 1641. He drew inside his notebooks planets orbiting the sun. In his notebook was a model of thinking that was new. His ideas, though quite correct, were not a welcome view. Galileo filled up notebooks viewing the night sky, observing moons and stars and comets as they were passing by. Galileo's evidence helped imaginations roam. Other famous scientists looked at things closer to home. So this is Galileo, and this right here is a real page from his notebook all the way back in 1641. That was a long time ago. In this notebook, he proved that planets went around the sun. A lot of people did not believe that was true at the time. They thought the sun went around our planet. Not true. Let's look at the next scientist. Isaac Newton was a genius. He truly did it all. Complex calculations in his notebook did he scrawl. Legend says he thought, aha, under a shady apple tree. Whatever's true, he did define the theory of gravity. Measurements and data convey the greatest wonders, and Sir Isaac Newton's notebooks contained lots and lots and lots, did I say lots, of numbers. Math's a part of science, no matter what you do, but other things like drawing can help you learn it too. Take a look at his notebook. If you look closely, these are all of his calculations, all of his numbers. It's a good thing he knew about place value. Beatrix Potter was an author. She loved to write and draw, but she also was a scientist who recorded what she saw. Insects, rocks, and fungi all graced her notebook pages. The detail in her drawings is a treasure for the ages. Miss Potter used her talents to answer her own query. Sketching helped her understand the fungi's life quite clearly. Notebooks can be valuable to organize and review. They also are essential when describing something new. Have you ever read The Tale of Peter Rabbit? It's by Beatrix Potter. Take a look at this cool drawing of a fungi. Beatrix Potter was an author, but she was also a scientist who was a really great illustrator. Look at the detail. Do you recognize this fungi? Think about it. Of course you do. It's a mushroom. We are going to stop reading here so we can set up our science notebook. Please pause this video and continue to the setting up your science notebook video. If you would like to continue reading this book and learning about other scientists, you can always come back to this video once you're done setting up your notebook. On the rooftop of a bank, Maria Mitchell could be seen peering through her telescope as part of her routine. On a clear October night, something caught her eye. Could it be a bright new comet she saw zooming by? Indeed, it was as she had thought, a great discovery. Miss Mitchell, with her careful notes, helped all the world to see. Notebooks aren't just for notes. There's more that you can do. Scientists plan experiments and then conduct them too. Take a look at her in her observatory. An observatory has this very powerful telescope. That way you can observe things. Did you know that insects hear? Surprising, but it's true. Before Charles Henry Turner, it was something no one knew. Dr. Turner studied ants and bees and all the way they act. His experiments uncovered things we now accept as fact. Cockroaches we know can learn. Bees see color, patterns too. Without Dr. Turner's notes, we'd think that insects only flew. A notebook is a place to plan experiments or tests and also to see patterns in what data could suggest. High atop a craggy peak, with a notebook and a pen, Dr. Lonnie Thompson surveyed Peru once again. He studied where a glacier lay, then looked back in his book. A single glance at early notes was all that it then took. Take a look at some of these quotes from Dr. Lonnie Thompson's notebook. This glacier is retreating. There's no doubt at all on that. The world has gotten warmer since the last time here I sat. This is actually really sad. Look at the glacier. Back in 2015, where it is now, 1986, 1964. Scientists craft explanations. They find the missing link. Good thing that in a notebook, one can reflect and think. Look at how much ice is melted. In a forest of gum, Jane Goodall sat quite still. The chimpanzees were very close, their nearness such a thrill. She observed for many years, described their lives and play. Her notes on their behavior are important still today. Many a page of journal writing helped her understand our relatives, the chimpanzees, and thus her fellow man. Dr. Goodall took her notes in a remote and wild place. Our next scientist's notebooks have been to outer space. Helen Ochoa is an astronaut and a brilliant engineer. On 4 short missions out to space, she explored a vast frontier. Dr. Ochoa used her notebooks to describe her NASA missions. Another set of notebooks fulfilled other great ambitions. Notebooks hold the story of her various designs. She used many, many pages to think, create, refine. Inventors also use notebooks to plan, design, and dream. Sometimes the results they get are not quite what they seem. The chemist Stephanie Kwolek, her job was to invent. She is now remembered for a happy accident. At first, her best discovery seemed like a big mistake. Little did she know she'd found a substance tough to break. Her notebooks outline all the steps for inventing this strong strand. A fiber she called Kevlar would save lives across the land. Making sense of data can be difficult too, but if you keep on trying, then you might find something new. Kevlar is a very, very strong material. It's even used in the military. You might have heard some of your parents use it. It's in their helmet, it's in their body armor. Charles Darwin wrote while sailing on a boat, and you need to use a mirror to read what Da Vinci wrote. Marie Curie's findings helped develop the X-ray. Did you know her notebook is radioactive still today? Their studies may be different, both in subject and in style, but the Modest Science Notebook has been essential all the while. Gregor Mendel, Albert Einstein, Rachel Carson too, they all relied on their notebooks. Now what about you? Again, boys and girls, if you have not done so already, go ahead and move on to the setting up your science notebook video. We have an activity where you're going to be able to draw on your science notebook and make it unique and your very own.